Have you ever felt like there's something inside you, a part of you, that just doesn't quite fit? Maybe it's a feeling, an emotion, or a behavior that you try to hide from the world. Something that, no matter how much you push it down, keeps coming back. You might even dismiss it, tell yourself it's not important, or convince yourself that it's not who you are. But what if I told you that this very part of you is actually the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of yourself? Today, we're going to explore one of the most profound concepts in Carl Jung's psychology, the shadow. We'll look at how facing the unconscious parts of ourselves can lead to growth, healing, and ultimately, transformation. But this is an easy journey. It's uncomfortable, challenging, and sometimes downright terrifying. So why embark on it? Because the very parts of you that you've been hiding might just hold the answers you've been searching for. To understand the shadow, we need to first understand the masks we wear. Every day, we present ourselves to the world in a specific way. These are the behaviors, attitudes, and traits that we believe are acceptable that we think others will approve of. These traits are often shaped by societal expectations, family conditioning, and personal desires for approval. But beneath these masks lies something else, something darker, the parts of our personality that we've been taught to suppress, reject, or ignore. This is what Carl Jung referred to as the shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow isn't about evil or malice. It's about the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we have neglected or rejected. These parts can include emotions, behaviors, desires, or even parts of our identity that we don't allow to surface. They are not inherently bad. They are simply the parts of ourselves that don't fit into the picture of who we think we should be. The shadow is not some dark force lurking in the corner, waiting to consume us. It's a natural part of our psyche, a part that we all have, but one that we often avoid because it feels uncomfortable or unsettling. But what happens when we avoid the shadow? What happens when we push away these parts of ourselves? The truth is, ignoring our shadow doesn't make it go away. It simply forces it deeper into our unconscious, where it operates in the background, influencing our decisions, behaviors, and interactions with others. Have you ever found yourself reacting in ways that you don't understand? Maybe you're quick to anger, or you find yourself shutting down emotionally. These reactions often come from the parts of us we've suppressed. Our shadow doesn't disappear when we ignore it. It only grows stronger, more elusive, and more likely to control us from behind the scenes. This is the paradox of the shadow. The more we resist it, the more it controls us. It's not until we face it head-on, until we acknowledge the parts of ourselves we've hidden, that we can begin to experience true freedom. Jung believed that the shadow is not an enemy to be destroyed. It's a teacher, and through it, we can learn some of our most valuable lessons. So, how do we begin this journey of self-discovery? How do we start to face the unconscious parts of ourselves that we've tried so hard to avoid? The first step is awareness. Awareness of the things we're hiding from ourselves, the emotions we're not allowing ourselves to feel, the behaviors we're not willing to acknowledge. You might think you already know yourself, but Jung believed that self-awareness is a lifelong process. And to truly know ourselves, we must be willing to face what lies beneath the surface. One of the most effective ways to begin facing the shadow is through self-reflection. By setting aside time for journaling, meditation, or simply sitting with your thoughts, you can start to uncover the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Ask yourself these questions. What do I fear about myself? What emotions do I tend to repress? What parts of myself do I try to hide from others? What I most dislike in others? Could it be a reflection of something within me? The answers to these questions will reveal your hidden shadow, and once you start to see it, you can begin to engage with it. Let's take anger, for example. Maybe you were taught that anger is bad, that you should always be calm and controlled. As a result, you suppress your anger, burying it deep inside. But the more you push it down, the more it controls you. It leaks out in unhealthy ways, through passive-aggressive behavior, irritability, or sudden outbursts. But what if you allowed yourself to feel anger when it arises? Not to lash out, but to acknowledge it, understand where it's coming from, and express in a healthy way? This is a process of integrating the shadow. It's not about repressing the emotion, but about recognizing it and allowing it to flow through you without letting it control your actions. When we accept our shadow, we stop rejecting the parts of ourselves that make us human. We stop pretending to be perfect and begin to embrace the wholeness of who we are. This acceptance doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process. But as you learn to face your shadow, you will begin to experience profound growth. You'll start to understand why you behave the way you do, why you react to certain situations, and why certain people trigger you. As you integrate your shadow, something incredible happens. You stop living a fragmented life. You no longer feel torn between who you think you should be and who you actually are. Instead, you start to live authentically. You stop pretending. You stop performing. You start living as a complete person you were always meant to be. Jung believed that this process of integrating the shadow is what leads to individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are. Individuation is about becoming whole, not by getting rid of the parts of ourselves we don't like, but by embracing them. By acknowledging our flaws, our fears, and our hidden desires, we reclaim the part of ourselves that we've lost. As you begin this journey, remember that the shadow is not your enemy. It's a part of you that you've neglected, and by facing it, you open the door to a deeper understanding of yourself. You become less reactive, more grounded, and infinitely more capable of creating a life that is in alignment with your true self. So, I encourage you to ask yourself today, what parts of myself have I been hiding? What have I been suppressing, rejecting, or ignoring? And what would it look like to embrace that part of me? To stop running and start walking toward the shadow with acceptance and curiosity. The shadow is a gift, one that will transform you if you're brave enough to face it. So begin today. The journey may be long, but it's worth every step. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone who might need it. Let's keep this conversation going. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Let's continue to explore the depths of the self together. And remember, the shadow isn't something to be feared. It's the map to your inner world. And by facing it, you're one step closer to becoming your most authentic, empowered self. Thank you for joining me on this journey. The path has only just begun.